In 3 words or less, trigger an entire fan base.
Okay, bet. Hell isn't real.
You're committing a sin. If you sin, you go to hell. Hell isn't actually real, it's a metaphor for the separation eternally from your creator. It says that there's flames, so you'll burn. Okay, when you go to heaven, right, you lose your body, your physical body, so you can't burn. It's a metaphor. Your soul will burn. A soul is not a material thing, so it can't be burned. It's a metaphor.
Hell isn't a metaphor, it's a literal place. It's mentioned in the Bible. Oh, you're using the book of Matthew. That was the word Gehenna translated from Hebrew into English. That's a literal place. Okay, so it's a literal place, just like I said. Right, Gehenna wasn't a great place. It was actually a valley in Israel where Jerusalem used it as like a dump, so they set everything on fire. Some people actually practice child sacrifice there too, so. You're telling me the word was just actually a real place on earth? I was telling the people about it, and it was on fire. Okay, Gehenna's an actual place, but what about all the other mentions in the Bible that say hell? Surely they can't all be metaphors. Okay, let's start with the example Sheol. Go ahead and look up how it's translated in the King James Version. 31 times is hell, 31 is grave, and 3 to pit. Why are they using the same word? I kind of like to think of it as a catch-all because anyone who dies goes there, kind of like a grave. In Job it says no matter if you're rich or poor or free or a slave, everyone ends up in Sheol. Like a holding box until Judgment Day. Sheol is just for everyone. Have we covered all the hells? We have 2 more words to cover. Alright, what about Tartarus? It's a fun one, depending on your definition of the word fun. That can't be a metaphor for hell, because Tartarus is mentioned in 2 Peter and it sounds awful. That's the only time it's mentioned in the New Testament. Much like the Greek, that's where fallen angels are going to be held in chains of darkness. Fallen angels, not bad people? Maybe the devil, but it never really says anything about humans. I still don't believe that a fiery hell is just a metaphor. There's still one place where Jesus himself talks about it. Oh, you must be talking about Hades. Okay, same thing as Sheol, except this one's Greek, because we're in the New Testament. Okay, so like Sheol, it's just a place for good and bad people, but just translated into hell. I get it, I think. Yeah, and they're not even a place of eternal suffering. Both death and Hades are destroyed in the end times forever. Wait. Hades is destroyed, which means it can't be eternal. So what happened to all the bodies that were there? Well, in Revelation, it says everyone will be resurrected from the dead. And in case it's not already, that's when things get a little weird. Okay, if hell's not a real place, then why did Jesus talk about hell more than heaven? I didn't. I only talked about things that could be considered hell 60 times. That's just 3% of what I said. That's not a lot. And actually, I talked about the idea of heaven or paradise 190 times. That's about 10%. The other 87% of the time, I was just talking about life here on Earth. Wait, why'd you talk so much about life on Earth? Shouldn't we be focused on forever? I mean, that's eternity. Because if you haven't noticed, I was a little bit more focused on trying to bring God's love down to Earth than trying to tell you that you're going to burn for eternity. Like, if hell isn't real, then why does Jesus say you should fear the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell? Not hell, Gehenna. Okay, then it's saying God can destroy people in Gehenna. You're focused on the wrong part of that verse. It says that God can destroy, not that he will. Right, because he's God, but that still proves that there's a hell. Oh, because if you're using that verse, then you should believe in soul annihilation. It says that the soul can be destroyed, not that there's eternal torment in hell. So it's over. The second death, the final death, also in the Bible. Okay, Mr. JeGaysus doesn't believe in hell. What about Matthew 25:46, where it says that there's eternal punishment? Eternal is a noun of action, and here it can mean 2 different things. Either something final or something that goes on and on and on. Something that continues, meaning that it's continuous. God will always punish the wicked, not that the punishment itself is eternal. You also said something final. What's that mean? Think of it like in Hebrews 6:2, where it says eternal judgment. Does this mean a person's going to get judged again and again and again forever? Of course not. It means that you're judged once and then the effect lasts forever. And honestly, that's just one example. I could give you others, like eternal death, eternal JeGaysus. You're saying that hell isn't real again? It's not true. Oh, example. In the parable of Lazarus and the rich man is tormented while Lazarus is fine. Well, firstly, that's a parable. It's not real by definition. Notice how they're in the same place? Sheol, the place where we all go when we die, good or bad. They are in the same place. The parable is showing how the rich man, who chased after material things his whole life, is miserable without them. Lazarus, being from a humble background, is happy with himself. He's fine with having nothing in life or in death. It sounds like a good lesson, I guess. Yeah, it's saying that one man's contentment is another man's misery, not that torturous hell is real.